Now, Elon Musk says he'll be giving a series of talks in Pennsylvania in support of Donald Trump's campaign. New disclosures show he contributed nearly $75 million this summer to a pro-Trump super PAC he helped create. The Trump campaign is also getting support from mega donors like the packaging tycoon Richard Ulian and the widow of Sheldon Adelson, the casino magnate. Those three billionaires alone gave more than $200 million to pro-Trump groups during the third quarter. Joining us now, Sarah Bryner is Director of Research and Strategy at Open Secrets. Sarah, fantastic to have you with us. I looked at a breakdown from Forbes, actually. Hi. And they record 79 billionaires, in fact, supporting Harris, 50 backing Trump so far. But of course, Musk is a financial whale. Just put this money and spending into perspective for us, please. And of course, the method in which he's doing it via this super PAC.
What's interesting about this case and about Musk in particular is that it actually is doing a lot of the work of the ground game for the Trump campaign. Typically, we'll see super PACs spending money, super PACs like the America PAC, the one backed by Musk, spending money on ads, television ads. In this case, they're doing that, but they're also hitting the pavement. And that's a big deal because that's really what, in the end, can drive people to the polls.
But it's a risk. I mean, this is a new strategy that we've seen from this kind of super PAC to sort of almost offset that campaign and let somebody else deal with it.
Absolutely. And $75 million from Musk, the super PAC has raised more than that. That puts it among the top 10 to address that context in a little bit. But yes, it's absolutely a risk. But I think it's one that Trump is willing to take because his campaign has struggled with its ground game this cycle. It's also struggled to raise money at all. And so Musk is a popular figure with some people, and they are taking, the bet that he's going to be better able to get people in these sort of middle of the road districts out to the polls than Trump, who's a little bit more polarizing, would be able to do himself.
Just can you break it down so that we can understand the significance perhaps of the 10 biggest individual donors and what proportion of the spending they contribute versus the sort of crowdfunding smaller players and what percentage that is? Because I think the difference here for people to understand actually is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's wild, actually. And I don't have the latest figure yet because we just got the data yesterday, everyone filed. But the last time I checked, the top 10 individual donors had contributed over 10% of all of the money in American elections, which is billions and billions of dollars we expect to be spent by the end of all of this. Whereas whereas anyone donating under $200 makes up 16% of the total amount. So when we're talking 10 people giving roughly equivalent amounts as everybody else who gives these small donations, it's wild to think about the influence that those people might have.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, we're just showing some numbers on screen there, but you're giving us the breaking news there, which is that 7% is now more than 10%. I mean, you've also done a projected cost of the spending of this presidential election, over $15.9 billion. The previous record before that was $15.1 billion, and that's in nominal terms. So if inflation adjusted, perhaps it may not be a record, but this is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. And it really comes down to what is that money doing? These are political operatives who are trying to influence the way that Americans think about the world around them. And they can do so with varying degrees of success, right? A lot of people know what they think about Trump and Harris already, but it's money that ultimately, most people are going to expect something in return, whether it be a meeting, whether it be a policy outcome. And really, when you think about it in those terms, it's sort of a just mind-boggling concept.
Yeah, quid pro quo, particularly when you're talking about 10 individual donors and their influences and what they require in order to achieve this versus the rest of the world, quite frankly, even though they all only get one vote. Very quickly, is there a saturation point, do you think, where we just don't see more money than we're seeing today? And maybe it's a stupid question, but I'm asking it anyway. There surely is a point, but we're not there yet.
It's not a stupid question. I have been wondering that for a decade.
Yeah, we'll keep wondering.
But every cycle, we seem to keep going up. We might be at it. I mean, if we're hitting the point where the inflation adjusted estimate is roughly around the same as last, like maybe we're there, but I kind of don't believe it, because there are so many people making money out of this process that I'm sure they'll find new ways and new strategies to make sure that these political fundraisers and consultants and lobbyists and all of them continue to take their portion of the political pie. So I think the number can go up. Yes.
This is an astonishing amount of money in politics, even for a nation this size. Sarah, great to get your wisdom. Thank you, Sarah Bryner there. Thank you.